Controlling every single aspect of your project does more harm than good. And participating in all meetings is actually makes you a weak leader. And I totally get it. You hear all the time that a good project manager is responsible for the project success, and it's in your job description. But let me ask you this. How do you feel like when your boss joins a team meeting or a meeting with customers and he sits there on the background just listening and controlling? So, why would you think that your team feels different when you control them all the time? In the long run, if you continue doing this, you'll end up burned out and overwhelmed. But what's even worse, you will never become an efficient senior project manager because on a complex project you won't have enough time to control everything personally. That's why all successful senior project managers have one thing in common. They practice extreme delegation. You delegate everything except project management approach, leadership, and keeping project owners happy. Studies and my practical experience shows that delegating responsibilities on a project provides huge benefits. Just to name a few. First, you can leverage the experience and unique knowledge of people on your team. They all bring different perspectives and solutions, and as a byproduct, many processes and tools will get some improvements. Second, proper delegation leads to increase of motivation. Remember that people don't see themselves as team members or employees. They see themselves as professionals in their area of expertise. So when you allow them to use their knowledge and skills, you reinforce their feeling of self-esteem. Third, you regain lots of time you wasted on endless meetings and routine tasks. And instead, you can use this time to identify more opportunities for improvement, start a new initiative, and delegate it. In the long run, you can achieve so much more when you delegate everything, because you can rapidly stack up so many achievements done by different sub-teams. And by the way, I have a really simple test to see if you delegated enough responsibilities. So ask yourself and be honest. If you disappear from the project unexpectedly, how many days would it take for performance to degrade? And how many days it would take to hit a roadblock that no one takes responsibility to remove? 7 days is the minimum you should aim for. But ideally, the performance can degrade in 7 to 10 days. But the team should be able to regroup and keep the wheels turning without you. So now the question is, what should you delegate in practice? Because delegate everything sounds too vague. Let me give you some examples. But in the process, I would like you to observe your reaction to each point. It will be a good indicator whether you are ready for a senior project manager role or not. Okay, the number one on my list is always requirements analysis, because collecting and documenting requirements takes a huge amount of time. If you write or analyze requirements as a project manager right now, you should stop doing it. Have a business analyst or team leads gather and analyze detailed requirements from stakeholders. You must focus on building the process, creating templates, and setting up your PM tool to control this process. And I almost hear you say, but I don't have a business analyst in the team. And I totally get it. You must convince your boss or customers to hire one in the team. You must sell the benefits of having a BA in the team. And of course, if you tried and they refused it, then consider this. Does this company provide you the opportunity to grow as a project manager? Maybe it's time to move on. Second on my list is quality assurance and testing. And I know that most of IT projects nowadays have a QA team and they do create and execute test plans. But I want you to take it one step further. You need to start thinking in terms of deliverables. All quality assurance efforts should result in a report. For example, if you are close to a release, you want a document that certifies the quality of the product or service you created. It should include the results of running a test plan, known defects, and so on. In a bigger project, this document will combine other types of testing like performance testing, user acceptance testing, security testing, and so on. So, once you identify the format and the requirements to this final document, delegate creation of the whole QA process. Build it once and never get into the weeds of quality assurance. The third on my list is technical design, architecture, and technical discussions as a whole. I recommend that you stop participating in technical meetings at all. Instead, assign a specific task to design a solution to your senior developers and architects. Let them report to you one-on-one on the progress. Obviously, here you need to train these senior developers and architects to provide solutions that align with the business need of the project. And also, you must build trustworthy relationships with these people. Fourth is progress reports. Reports should be fully automated in the long run. But again, you need to start thinking about the final deliverable. For example, you want to build a dashboard in Jira that should provide a live up-to-date status of the project. In practice, it will mean that you need to create workflows to maintain Jira tickets, train team to fill out the required fields, and create the report template. Again, I would start with an end in mind and reverse engineer the required processes. But this is also an interesting example. Because in most cases, you will delegate responsibilities to your senior level team members. However, collecting the data from a PM tool isn't a rocket science. So you can train your senior level team members to delegate this further to others. And as a result, this allows less experienced people to participate in value-generating activities on a project. So let me ask you, do you really want to keep doing everything on your own and eventually becoming a bottleneck for your project and your own career? Or do you want to start practicing extreme delegation and shift your role from a micromanager to a leader? I'm asking because extreme delegation is an essential part of becoming a senior project manager. So, if you want to be a leader, then you should also learn what great project managers do that you probably don't do right now. And you need to fix it as soon as possible. So, click this video now and we'll continue our conversation.